wanted to share a bit of our culture and inheritance before she leaves and get introduced to our history and who we are as Turkmens. So it was kind of challenging to find a subject, and I decided to start with my favorite, with the Turkmen silver. I'm a fan of it, and you may see my collection, it's just a part of it. And while preparing it, it was so hard to say how it was originated. And through this presentation, you will understand that how actually this kind of art came to Earth. First of all, it's because of the people, yes, because of Turkmen. And who are we as a Turkmen?
Сделай на весь экран.
Да?
View сделай, view. Вот так, ага. Если так не
Стой,
знаю.
сейчас подожди, я не знаю, как вот это убрать. Все, у меня нормально все. There is a national game, so at the beginning I planned that we'll do the presentation first without Mew, so we will be introducing each other. And as an icebreaker game, I picked one game, a Turkmen national. And when I was looking for this game, you cannot imagine how it was hard. Because Turkmens, all games of Turkmen nation was kicking each other, punching each other, like it was very physical and kind of abusing in my opinion. And I started digging. I reached all the Turkmen teachers. Please find me something another way. And another part of the game, my brains couldn't digest it. It was kind of not just guessing like we played at Mayplace. It was just something using your intuition or some majesty or some kind of powers, some high powers. And and this is one of those games I tried to play with you. The name of the game is Yüzük Gitti in Turkmen language, which is translated "the ring was lost." Do you want to try to help?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we play with this ring. So this ring will be lost. He has to guess who's got this ring. I will hide it. Who will be that person? Ты хочешь? Who has a very good intuition? May. May I ask?
Интуиция у него так хорошая.
Okay, May.
It means that I need to give to someone. Yeah.
No, look.
You need to
You need
Okay.
to figure it out. Find out who has
Let
it.
me read the rules. All participants sit in the circle. I am the lead, and I will approach each participant. You have to keep your.
We used to play that game.
Yes,
Yes.
So, and I will hide this ring in one of the participant hands, and one participant has to guess. So we have to decide who want to be that guesser. Who has a very good intuition?
I recommend.
Great.
Spouses always do. No, you don't get a visa.
I really think you have good intuition.
Yeah, May, you will record, you will not play. Yeah, so we understood this. So, and another thing, when I was reading about this game, the guesser, what he did or she did in order to understand, he was coming, approaching each participant, looking to eyes, checking blood pressure and other things, you know. So, Gregor, go ahead, you can check our blood pressure. Start. We так ладошку держите, have the same game. So, I found one kind of народные игры book. How to translate? Folk games. And there were games from different cultures like Caucasus, Belarusian, Ukrainian, and I found out that one game, I think it was from Belarus, in kicking, by the way, punching, also looked like exactly like Turkmens, yes? Turkmens, я не знаю. Yeah.
Boys punch each other all over the world.
This is interesting fact, да? Интересный факт. So, Turkmenistan, let's talk about Turkmenistan. It's known as Turkmenia, and is a landlocked country in Central Asia. It covers around 202,000 square meters. Turkmenistan is located at the center of Eurasian continent and has been classified as an upper middle income country. Geography. So I'm sure you know about this, but nevertheless, let's repeat our geography.
Well, then have a test.
So climate subtropical, and the land itself is mostly around 80% is a desert, flat to rolling to sandy, and there are mountains on the borders. And the natural hazards, earthquakes, mudslides, это эти оползни в горах, droughts, это засухи, dust storms, yes, we will know about these dust storms, and floods. So the population of Turkmenistan is more than 6 million people. No, this is the MFA statistic.
Much less.
Okay,
Official statistics.
Okay, we have to refer here to official statistics.
It's not 6 million.
Let's not talk about like politics. We refer to the official website. And to be honest, I thought we are officially 7 million. And I decided to go to MFA website. I was so surprised to see this number, 6 million too.
Just recently there was also some official
Нет, official.
2 миллиона, 3 миллиона.
Мне кажется, где вообще
Official
Yeah.
A census это
Девочки, And talking about Turkmen nation as of today, how we came to this point that we look so different. And as you see, I put various pictures. This from Osman Empire, Persian Empire, we have that influence in our DNA, and the Silk Road was through the territory of Turkmenistan, and definitely we had influence from European countries to a major extent, in my opinion, than China. And then, Soviet Union countries, we were 15 republics, And each of them were represented at certain place, at certain time in Turkmenistan. And of course, we were blended a lot. Our DNA was blended a lot, to which I personally very thankful. And here is a very, very historical part. Prehistory. Let me read a bit about this, because I'm not a historian, and like this is like a kind of complicated part. So scientists suggest that in prehistoric time, the territory of Turkmenistan was inhabited by Neanderthals, since traces of their stay near the village of Gaurdak, which is in Libab region. Да, представляешь? So the Mesolithic cave site Jebel near Nebidak was also found on the territory of Turkmenistan. So as you see, we had the representation of each age in our country. So the Neolithic is also represented by agricultural Jeytun culture. At the end of 6, beginning of 5 millennium BC, the Jeytun culture was replaced by Anal culture, whose carries represented a new wave of people from Iran who had already mastered the copper foundry business. In the 2 millennium BC, the territory of Turkmenistan is inhabited by the Aryan tribes, арийская культура у нас тоже присутствует, of the Andronov culture. And the speakers of the Dardic languages are considered the first wave of conquerors. Researchers suggest that in the 7th centuries BC, here, as well as on the adjacent territory of northern Afghanistan, the Proto-Iranian alliances of Aryo-Shaina, described in the Avesta, was formed. By the way, this information was taken from the Science of Academy. Maybe not truth, okay? This is what I call. So, as I told, I'm not a historian, yes. This is just an information I read from the literature, but if there will be someone, a historian, come and tell this is not truth, okay, like I'm a lawyer. Past and ancient Iranian civilization, so we can here see that there was a Zoroastrianism here as a religion. The land of Turkmenistan, я вспоминал, почему-то не хотела, чтобы он сказал.
Я все понимаю.
Ну, у меня по-русски тоже написано.
Не такие вещи понятны.
Понятно,
Это
честно.
же название.
Так. So Margiana was formed, okay, during the Zoroastrianism time. Так, дальше. Потом была Parthia. There was Parthia then, Nisa, and within the Parthia, the Nisa culture was created, and Nisa monument you can see closer to Ashgabat. And there is an old Nisa and new Nisa. Then Turkmenistan became the part of Sasanian Iran. По-русски это Сасанидский Иран, сосали Сасанидского Ирана, мы стали. After the fall of Parthia, the Turkmens land again turned into the periphery of Iran. The territories of Turkmenistan at that time were known as Northern Khorasan. And Khorasan is now known at that time, also known as part of being of Uzbekistan. But back then there was still no identification of those countries, because it was kind of a Sasanidское государство, Sassanid country, government. Then, in the 5th and 6th centuries, the territories of Turkmenistan as part of Sassanids were conquered by nomadic Iranian-speaking Ephalites. Iranian-язычные Ephalites. However, the Turkic Khaganate was formed near the northern borders of Iranian-speaking Turkmenistan. So, in the 20th century, the Turkmens living in the territory of Turkmenistan fell under the rule of Khwarezm Shahs. This is also known as part of Uzbekistan later on. Then, in the beginning of 1219, the territory of Turkmenistan was subjected to devastating Mongol invasion. So, at that time, the Uzbek territory were heavily under the invasion, but Turkmen lands were not so much because of the desert, and the climate was quite severe for them to conquer people living in these territories. And this is one of the explanations why our Turkmens do not look more Mongolians. Yeah, because Mongolians really suffered in this climate. And Soviet Turkmenistan. The Russian Bolsheviks had some influence among the Russian workers of the Turkmen cities, and therefore the attempt to establish Soviet power was made in sync with the center. In 1920, the Red Army occupied Krasnoyarsk, and then you know the later on history, how the firstly autonomic Soviet Republic was established, and at a certain time when there was a division of the powers into the republics, our Turkmen heroes at that time put a lot of efforts to establish the Turkmenia as a republic, not as an autonomic republic, but as a co-republic of the Soviet Union. And we obtained independence in 1990. Yes, the history was so rich and there were so many tribes, and at a certain time, the interesting fact was that at a certain time in the history, such tribes, there were not nation as a Turkmen in the past, but there were tribes, several tribes. And the most influential tribes were Yomut and Ersari. But after some time, and Yomut and Arsari were huge. I think it was Arsari. Arsaris были. But at certain time in the history, the interesting fact that Teke somehow arise and they became the most powerful, even more powerful than Yomuts. And since they became the central. And,
Они основные, потому что
да.
больше просто-напросто.
Не, они в какой-то, не, одно время Юмудов было очень много, но в какой-то момент текинцы, они стали прям мощные. Мощные, и они разрослись.
Да, говори.
So what Vilayet is it?
So,
Teki, right?
yes.
Over here, right?
And
Ashgabat.
we are here today, and so I want to explain how the tribal system are strongly rooted in our identity. When we tell who are you Turkmen, the next question usually, what is your tribe?
Yeah.
This is so strong here,
Yeah.
and because this is rooted long before. And as I told, there was no such a nationality as Turkmen. There was only tribe basis. And thanks to Teke nation, we became Turkmens. It was actually thanks to them who identified everybody as a Turkmens. And today, this you can see in our even flag. So this is written in the constitution of Turkmenistan, what these girls means. These patriarchs are from the Turkmen carpet, and they represent each tribe. And for some reason, in the constitution of Turkmenistan, put it as a Halteke, not Teke. I don't know why, that's why I put it as a Halteke. And the next girl is Yomun, Salir, Chovdur, and Sari. And they are the most biggest tribes right now in Turkmenistan. And another thing I found in the history that Teke and Arsari, they're somehow very close to each other. Like they're kind of like a brother nations to each other, brother tribes. While Yomut is a bit different, Chovdur and Salir is a bit different. And our regions, more or less, also kind of distributed as per tribes. But not so far, because we proclaim that we are united, and there is a tendency not to discard the tribes because we have to be united. And even our famous poet Mahmoud Guli, he tried to proclaim that we shouldn't discuss tribes, we should talk about ourselves as Turkmens. Yes, but more or less the regions are represented like this. So you know that Akhalteke, where do they live? Yes?
So this is Ashgabat Vilayet.
Yes, this is Ashgabat. Teke mostly live here. And this is Mari Vilayet, and this is Lebab.
Right,
So
Mari-
Teke and Arsari, like this. They live, Arsari live there, here. Teke mostly live here. And there's some part of the Arsari living there. So this is Yomut and this is Yomut. That's why Yomut, they also separated. Some say, which Yomut are you? Northern or Western? This is Balkan Yomut, Western Yomut, and this is Northern Yomut. Так, and Turkmens are so different, and as I told in the beginning, how Turkmen silver originated. They are made by our people, by our eyes, yes, the way we see and enjoy the nature and environment. And here I put the representatives of Turkmen guys, yes, you can see how different we are, and to which extent, like our DNA is in...
Это твой сын?
Да,
Первый?
да,
Твой сын?
my son, yeah.
А второй кто?
Ну, это люди.
Я знаю его, я думаю,
Which one do you know?
The
No,
one in the middle of the
Моя мама это Гульшатка.
Гульшатка, Марала, Бахара.
Ну, как-то...
Ну, девушки у нас, кстати, может быть, не такие все удачные.
Вот
Пацаны,
эти девочки?
Да.
Как
Вот
неудачно.
не очень, нет?
А я?
Красивые все плохие.
пацаны как-то уважают.
Ну, что значит женский глаз?
And I thought, oh my god, because before we were sitting with my friends in a bar, and we were like, there were guys, and they were discussing lips, artificial lips of Turkmen girls, and we kept saying, no, we have big lips, no, we are beautiful, blah blah blah. And then with the girl who sent me the guy's picture, and I thought, my god, look at their lips, they're so huge. Of course we have big lips, yes. So yeah, someone sees that, someone sees similarity, someone sees only lips, and yeah. So and if girls love diamonds, Turkmen girls love Turkmen silver. And Turkmen women prefer to wear only silver because, in their opinion, the brilliance of silver jewelry trimmed with a carnelian insert perfectly set of the strict traditional tunic-shaped dress of dark cherry or green color.
Не поняла, о чем? Такие слова немножко.
Короче, туркменская женщина предпочитала носить серебро, потому что она считала, что серебро больше всего подходит к ее туркменскому наряду. Вот этим вышивкам, либо темно-зеленое, либо красное. Ну вот туркменское серебро, да? Так, why silver? The choice of silver was due on the hand to the fact that during the period under the review, the extraction of precious metals in the territory of Central Asia was limited and did not meet local needs. So, because silver was the most available metal, simply saying. The second, Zoroastrianism. So, Zoroastrianism religion believed that silver has some magic powers. Yes, this came from the Zoroastrianism. And during the Zoroastrianism, they also believed that the silver had some sacred power, the most sacred powered metal. Then Islamic reason. There was a legend in Islam, in Quran, saying that once man came to, once man approached Allah,
Prophet.
Prophet, нет, не Аллаха, Okay, from the Quran it says that the metal which shall be fit to a human on earth shall be silver, because gold is the metal of the god. Yes, simply saying. Так, medical reason, there was a belief that the silver has some antiseptic properties, and in the heat it served the nomads as a protection, and at the same time as a medicine in case of injury. And there is also a magical reason, which is close to the Zoroastrianism. They believe that silver is a good protection from the evil eye. And variety of Turkmen silver. Так, you can see the Turkmen silver was used not only as a women jewelry, but also for the men, and also for the horses, and even for the camels. Because horses was considered almost as a human being, as a brother to a Turkmen man, and of course, as it was a loved animal, and therefore it was decorated. And the second animal, which is very honored, was a camel, and sometimes it was also decorated with some silver bells, but not cows and sheep. Yeah. So in ancient times, jewelry not only symbolized wealth, but also were amulets that, according to the people of that period, had magical powers. And jewelry is an integral part of the life of Turkmen. They were worn not only by women and children, but also by men. They decorated the Ahaltike horses as a sign of respect for war horses and to protect them from evil and disease.
Ой, красиво. У нас на самом деле красиво, да, украшение?
А почему серебро вот это серебро?
Его здесь такого легче всего было добывать, да.
А им ничего не говорится об этом?
The types of Turkmen jewelry, you can see, they were used for girls.
Ну ладно, вторая картинка это что, для мальчиков?
Да, for boys, да. For boys, you can see it was in the shape of look. Как сказать лук по-английски? You know
Bow
this?
and arrow?
Yes. So this just specifically
yeah.
for boys. For young girls, for young ladies, just before the marriage. For women, for men. So Turkmen men, he had to have such a silver belt. And for horses. And there were different kind of bells, you know, bells or silver beans used in the.
А у меня тоже нету.
Да, у тебя нету?
Есть у них. Надо иметь срочно.
So jewelry, also called as zergar or kumishchi.
А, видишь, как делают.
Да. Always in the ancient time, so I cannot find it, I don't talk with the word. In ancient time, such kind of art as jewelry was passed through from family to family, from father to son. And they called boys at the age of 10 to join to be a jewelry. For 4 years, that boy was just cleaning around to become a jewelry. And after some time, the jeweler started giving him some task. And during the process, he has to glue something in this process of doing different kind of jewelry. And first, he was doing this, pumping the air in some balloon. And then after some time, the boy started doing simple things. And only after around 10 years, the young boy become experienced enough to run his own business, let's call it this way. And but it was with an initiation. Usually they did this initiation on a Friday evening after they came from mosque. They made a big dinner meal and prayed the god of David, Dawu, which is an iron god in Turkmen iron, the Turkmen god of iron. Yes. And the biggest craftsmen lived in Mari region and in Ahal region. It was very popular to make the trades from one region to sell silks and to sell it, to trade it for silver. And that's why when I was traveling in each region, at first at that time I didn't understand why I could find a majority of silver in Mari and in Ahal, some in Dashabuz, but not in other regions. It's because that those streets of jewelry were mostly present there. Another thing I was also curious to find that in Lebab region was the same jewelry as in Ahal region. I thought this is the same, but now I got the explanation. It's because of the trading between the regions. So, and there are types of Turkmen jewelry among the tribes. So, teker. Teker love to engrave gold, and when they engraved the gold, they plated everything in gold on the back. While Yomut, when they used the gold, they love to engrave only certain parts, like leaves or letters. Sarik and Salir, they didn't like to use gold at all. They didn't like, maybe they didn't have gold in their region. And Western and Southern Yomut, what they did, if you see, they took the separate pieces of silver, plated with gold, and then stick to the silver. And stones of the jewelry, carnelian. It is called carnelian. Okay, serdalik in Russian language, and in English language is carnelian. This is the mostly used stone in Turkmen jewelry. And there is a belief that this stone is very is very good for the females to adjust their energies and everything. And during the Second World War, those stones become scarce, and the craftsmen start using the glasses, and you can actually see in those jewelry that some of them have glasses. And those tribes who live closer to the borders, like Yomus, they love to use biruza, turquoise,
Turquoise.
yes, and some lazuris, yeah. Tak. And also types of the Turkmen jewelry by the how and when they should be worn. So this is gupa. Gupa is a special headdress to be used only by a not married girl, young girl. And as soon as she starts wearing this is kind of a symbol to the neighboring families that this girl is ready to get married, and like if there is a good family, boy from good family, he can try.
So she's wearing it.
Yes, she's modeling.
Yeah, Selby, you're not ready yet. Selby, wait till you're out of college.
And
Take the helmet off.
Yeah, and when I read this book from the Academy of Science, they say that this came from the Scythian military helmet as a prototype. So this is kind of a baseline for Turkmens being also originated from some kind of Scandinavian countries, nations. So this type of headdress is only worn by married women up to 30 years old. So how it was done. So and it can also reach up to 50 centimeters. And the higher it was, the more that was the bigger status she had. So that means
У вас
she's,
ничего нет, вы бедные.
How hard, how strong you have to
it
be.
was very yes. And another design I saw, it can sometimes they looked thick, but eventually they put sand in between. And I have no explanation for that, why they did that. Sometimes the modern jewelers, they use this technique as well. They put sand in between the layers of the silver. Maybe to keep it cool, может для того, чтобы прохладно было.
Потяжелее, чтобы не знаю.
You want one?
And different kind of pendants. And in national Turkmen dress of women, they are put on the hair, on the dress, in front, on the back, on the side. And nowadays, they just pick these ancient things and just do different kind of jewelry. And where to buy and how to wear. This is up to your fantasy, how to wear it. And where to buy, you can buy it in Talpuchka, in some hotels. Yes.
Толкучка тоже.
Да, там тоже
А
продают.
там дешевле.
И оно настоящее серебро. So where did you get your jewelry?
In Talpuchka, in Mari, in Dashabuz, wherever I traveled.